Greetings, Apostolic Life. Thank you for joining us on our final devotion this Friday for our theme this week of the flow. Growing up in southwest Louisiana, I spent many summer days exploring in the woods with friends, and we would go to Anacoca Creek. And what was interesting about that is that you would see through the years the creek would change course, and you could see where the creek would formerly run, where it would leave sloughs of water, and those sloughs would be very stagnant. There wasn't much life in those places. And sometimes in our walk with God, we've got to follow the leading of the Spirit. The river is always changing. The current is always moving. God tries to speak to us in many different ways. And I want to encourage you that whenever you're praying, have some type of structure that you are going through and be sensitive to the Spirit of God so that when He leads, maybe you're starting out with thanksgiving and you just really felt led in the Spirit to just continually just press down that vein. And God brings you to the place and His will, His highway, if you will, to where He's wanting to take you for that day. Maybe the next day it's in praise, or it's in intercession or travail, or maybe it's asking for your own personal needs. Be Spirit-led in your daily walk. Don't get stagnant. The other thing with rivers, talking about getting in the flow, is a lot of times when you have floods or you have hurricanes or natural disasters come in, it can create a lot of debris. Sometimes even animals, beavers, will build dams that will block the obstruction of the flow of the river. And we've got to be intentional about identifying those things and what they are. And they're different for every individual. Remove the thing that's hindering the flow of God in your life. And I'll tell you the way that you do that. It's one piece at a time. It's identifying it, it's being obedient to it, removing that thing, and you're going to consistently start to see the flow of God increase in your life. Let the Word identify some of those things. Other people, ministers, pastors, Spirit-led people can speak into your life and help you identify some of those things. Be Spirit-led. Remove those obstacles that would hinder the flow in your life. And a river is defined by its banks. That's where it gets its energy. That's where it gets its current. And so it is in our spiritual walk with God. What are the banks that are defining the river? What are the things that are going to create and enhance that flow in our life? And I want to encourage you, throughout this last week, we've been intentional about getting into prayer, getting into the Word, fasting and denying our flesh and feasting in the Spirit. Have those strong definitions, have those strong banks in your life in order to keep the Spirit flowing. A lot of times we can seem like get off track and ask God, where are you? But I want you to think of it this way. When Adam and Eve were hiding in the garden, God was asking them, where are you? When we feel like we're far away from God, let's ask ourselves, where am I? What's going on in my life? What obstacles do I need to remove that is hindering the flow? What definition or banks that I need to increase in my life to keep that current moving to the place and the direction that God wants to take me? And I'll leave you with this. God knows the beginning, the end. He knows our tomorrows. And He is ordering your footsteps. He's leading you. He is guiding you. And I'll tell you the way that I've experienced God working in my life is that He doesn't always show me what is ahead, but it is through a daily walk that He gives me revelation. Think of it this way. In our life, we want a map. We want a set of directions that's going to tell us we're starting right here, We're ending right here, and this is going to be every step along the way. This is every highway. This is every exit that we need to take. And a lot of times God doesn't operate like that. He operates like that person who's sitting beside you that is familiar with the place. They know where they're going. And as you're driving, you can feel comfortable because this person is experienced. This person already knows where to go. And they'll say, hey, turn left. Go straight up here. Hey, after you cross the bridge in 2 miles, you're going to take that curve around the bend and we're going to continue on. God will lead you along the way. You do not have to be afraid. You can trust Him. He's going to get us to our destination. But prayer is one of the main things that invites God into our life to commune with Him, because it's all about relationship, and you cannot have relationship without communication. So I would encourage us, as we're finishing up this week, let's continue to press into the flow. God bless you.